Hello.
And welcome to Social Media Social Club.
A new podcast from social media specialists, Hydrogen.
Yeah, on this podcast we talk all things social media culture, and on the first episode we're going to be talking, is Taylor Swift the queen of community management?
We'll find out. But first, as with all new podcasts, we did have a few technical issues. So you might notice that the audio goes a little quieter at points. I hope that doesn't detract from your enjoyment of the episode. So without further ado, shall we get into it?
Let's go.
Cut to us last week.
I love Taylor Swift, and I'd love to believe that everything she says is true and not calculated, but I do think she'll say things like, oh, I've released these re-recordings for me, and like I didn't need you guys to get behind them, I had to do it for me, but you've all got behind them and it's been so amazing. But it's like, well, you knew that would happen because you've created this really strong brand, and you knew that people would get behind them, and you knew it would get this massive buzz.
Lucy, the intro to every podcast, and we just start by singing the name, and so I'll sing it quite low, Hannah sings in the middle, and I want you to come in on the high. But no, it's not a question, it's just a regular.
3, 2, 1.
Social media, social club.
Social media, social club.
Absolutely not.
Okay, thank you. Welcome to another episode of Social Media Social Club, the podcast where we discuss all things social media culture. I'm here with my friend Hannah.
Oh, hi, I'm Hannah.
And my other friend, Lucy.
Hi.
And you are?
I'm Josh. That's important to remember. So I'm Josh, that's Hannah, and this is Lucy. Lucy's our guest today. Lucy is an employee of Hydrogen.
I'm very formal of you.
And also a big Taylor Swift fan. Now, you might think that's an unusual detail to include, but all will become very clear.
It's also my full personality. So it's not unusual.
Yeah, it's actually not that unusual. So today, we want to talk about, we were trying to think, how can we talk about this thing, which is influencer culture at concerts. And we thought, who has had a bit of an influencer experience and been to a concert?
All roads lead to Lucy Muircroft.
Now you know her surname and you know what she's into.
Yeah. Great. Lucy recently attended Taylor Swift's Eras tour in Nashville.
That she did.
Yeah. I think it is so interesting how from when we were younger going to concerts, it was something that you would film and completely keep to yourself if you even did film anything. Whereas now it just seems to be such a shift to people seem to go to concerts to just create content and go viral. And I think that is mostly because of TikTok, and that seems to be such a thing. But what was your experience of that when you were at the Eras tour? Because obviously that was one that was...
Well, something I want to ask first, for people who aren't Taylor Swift fans.
Okay.
Because obviously we know that it's a big deal. The Eras tour. I know it's hard to believe that people aren't fans. But for the layman, could you tell us a bit about the Eras tour first? Just a kind of what it's all about and stuff like that for people who don't know.
So context, Taylor Swift has not toured since 2018.
Oh my God.
With the Reputation tour, obviously with COVID.
Yeah.
And she has in that time released 2 re-recordings and 3 brand new albums. Mm-hmm. So people are very, very excited about seeing Taylor Swift live again. She decided to, instead of do a tour of midnights, I think there was loads of speculation around what she was going to do. Would she do a concert of Folklore Evermore midnights, because they were the albums that came out new? Would she go back and do kind of the re-records? So essentially what she decided to do was an Eras tour, which is all of her music combined. So I guess it kind of captures every Taylor Swift fan. And obviously it's been all over the internet. So since then, people have then seen it and everyone wants to go.
Well, this is the thing. It has been so ubiquitous on TikTok and stuff like that. 13 billion views on the hashtag Eras tour on TikTok.
Wow.
Did you know that?
Wow, okay.
Yeah, I can do some numbers as well.
That's interesting.
Didn't even ask the Insights team to help me with that one. Just Google it. I know you guys had both watched a lot of it on TikTok. How much of the concert would you say you'd actually watched before you actually went to Nashville and went to see it?
I tried not to watch too much. I didn't ever say, because I went with my friend and we both spoke about it before and we're like, oh, well, we try and avoid stuff. I think it's impossible, to be honest. I think because of the way the algorithm works on TikTok, both of us already get so much Taylor Swift content that we couldn't really actually avoid that. But I hadn't watched too much of it. I knew the order. I knew there was obviously certain bits I'd seen. I think Hannah had watched the full thing.
I've seen the whole thing
several times on live streams.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of tried to avoid watching the whole thing. So some of it was still an element of surprise. And then obviously there's an element of surprise every night because it's slightly different. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think though it is just like so interesting how sometimes I will see a video on TikTok and people will say, oh, do you have a video of this song? And they immediately post it again.
Right.
It feels like people go and they have filmed the entire concert and you kind of think, have you actually even been in the moment at all? Like, did it feel like some people were there to just create content? Because obviously you were like 3 rows from the front, so that feels like the place to create the content.
3 rows from the front, my God.
I know, there was a lot of content creating for sure. I think there's obviously people that like before even the date, before they even go, are like, I'm going to be live streaming the whole thing. And it's like, great, I get it. Like, obviously there's so many people that want to go and it's been so hard to get tickets for, so I totally get that. But also it's like, do you then enjoy it? Or are you just watching it through a phone screen the whole time? Because there was definitely a lot of that and a lot of like, oh my God, I need to catch, which is fine.
Yeah.
But also there does come a point where, because I personally, pre-Taylor Swift, have always been like, oh, I don't really bother to record concerts because you never watch them. Like, you've got all this stuff on your phone, you never look back at it. But I have ruined my own logic with the Eras tour because I have a folder on my phone that I watch a lot.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing though. It's like there's a real difference between people that are filming it because they want to relive it. But I think there are definitely people that are now going to these concerts. Like, it seemed to be the same with like Harry Styles' concert as well, where people are literally there to make themselves into a bit of something online where they're just sharing it. And there are definitely people now that are like influencers, where they are influencers because they create content about certain celebrities or certain like artists, and that is their whole like
and you'll
niche.
see that even with like Duolingo took a load of influencers that are like massive, they're just like Swift talk influencers on TikTok, and they took a load of them to Taylor Swift. So like their whole niche has been built around Taylor Swift. And they've kind of got to where they wanted to be because they're getting brands that are taking them to.
When you say
Eras tour for
a
free.
Taylor Swift influencer, like, I haven't seen this. I've seen people, someone who's like, if you're a big fan of a band or something like that, or like an artist, and I'll watch their clips coming up on YouTube and stuff like that. But I've never really done it on TikTok. So when you say like a Taylor Swift like influencer and stuff like that, is that Swift talk influencer? Is that what you said? Sorry, Swift talk influencer. What? Is that just filming concerts? Is there other stuff that goes along with that?
So like obviously Taylor Swift has like built this whole like brand of like Easter eggs, and like she'll tease out content, and like there's all these like kind of hidden clues and stuff. So people have built channels around that essentially. They'll share their theories around things. They'll kind of talk about like when she like announces things, they're like the first to sort of jump on it. They'll do like Taylor Swift related trends. Obviously the Eras tour itself has become this massive, like it's not even just videos of the concert, it's like people like planning their outfit, like prepare, like here's suggested outfits that you could wear, here's an outfit for this era, here's an outfit for Fearless, like it's become this massive thing that's like people have made like a full brand out of it, which is quite scary.
I think it's like, it's just so interesting how like music has really influenced like TikTok, and like there's artists that have actually literally came out of nowhere and they've like grown into huge artists just from posting videos on TikTok. But I feel like there's now a huge amount of people that are trying to do the same thing. Like, do you think anyone can be an influencer, or do you think there's a certain point where there's not going to be enough room for everyone to be an influencer anymore?
It's hard. Like, I think especially with music, like you're probably the same, like I get a lot of content that's like, if you like Taylor Swift, Grace Abrams, all these people, like start listening to my music, and it obviously works for them. But there is like, where do we draw the line? Like, where does it come to a point where it's like we're just saturated with like content creators?
Yeah,
because we haven't reached it yet.
You posted some content from
Taylor Swift
from it, and you're not normally someone who's active on TikTok.
No,
not really, not often.
She rose from the ashes to
Taylor
post
Swift.
Eras.
Well, that's the thing. But you specifically kind of went into like an influencer mode just for that, I guess. Like in a way, like because you got like
Called
something
out on
like 20K.
camera.
No, I don't mean this in a negative way, but it was like I noticed like that was unusual for you, and like
it is unusual.
You got like 20K views or something like that, like on just posting a wee clip or something like that, like, or a few different wee clips from the concert and things like that. And I think that's kind of like,
the nice thing about TikTok especially is like I feel like it kind of feels like old school back in the day, you know, when Twitter would be very like fan led. But then we all kind of moved towards like an Instagram world, and it all became very aesthetic and stuff, and it was like kind of not cool.
Yeah.
So it's
To,
like
like,
actually
really like
quite
things.
nice
Yeah.
that like TikTok has created this landscape where people can be really big fans of things, and like it's it's not weird. Well, it is weird, but like it's not like uncommon anymore.
I think the nice thing about it is like obviously like me and you are very immersed in like Taylor Swift TikTok or like the TikTok of like sides of things that we really like, whereas you will be in a completely different side of that. So like the nice thing about it is actually like you create a community of people that think the same and like the same things as you. You're not even going to see that because you're not engaging with it.
100%.
So it is actually really nice that like communities can be created so easily on TikTok, and it is just the people that are interested in it that are there. And I think it's nice for people to meet people kind of through that as well, and like you can see that there are people making friendships and like the comments, and that there is that kind of community aspect to it.
I think the main difference between stan culture on Twitter and TikTok in general, not always, is that sometimes it puts more of a face to a name, like, and there's a bit more accountability
on TikTok.
And like I feel like on Twitter, because people use like icons and stuff like that, there's not as much of a kind of this is who I am kind of thing. Like, and I think in some ways, obviously, like, you know, that's maybe not the case, and it still is. It comes with its ups and downs, but I do think in general, seeing like knowing these people have lives and stuff like that, it maybe softens people's reactions to it. I would hope in some cases. I know it doesn't always, but I don't know if that's generally true.
I think people can still be brutally mean on TikTok, as we've seen on our own TikTok with comments that we've had to delete.
Obviously, we've kind of spoke about like the community. We're kind of speaking about this like community that she's created and stuff like that. That's obviously kind of like a marketer's dream to be able to create.
Oh, incredible!
To create something that feels completely organic, and she's done that through. I mean, I'm sure there's other ways, but from my perspective, just like creating those wee breadcrumbs, stuff like that, creating something that's genuinely rewarding, and it's a mix of new stuff, like, but also like using nostalgia. It's such she's such a uniquely placed artist that way, and I don't know. I just thought that would be quite an I think that's quite an interesting way. I can't think of any other artist that's doing that so successfully, and she's kind of used that whole thing of having to re-record her own material as like a marketing opportunity. But I think we'd all love to, like, for any client we have to have this community where everyone just talks about the thing.
Yeah, it is incredibly
it's
done.
amazing. Like
even
what
she'll
she's done
say
there.
things like, and I mean, I love Taylor Swift, and I'd love to believe that everything she says is true and not calculated, but I do think she'll say things like, oh, I've released these re-recordings for me, and like I didn't like need you guys to get behind them, I had to do it for me, but like you've all got behind them and it's been so amazing. But it's like, well, you knew that would happen because you've created this really strong brand, and you knew that people would get behind them, and you knew it would get this massive buzz. But she's done it so well. Like, she just seems to have managed to build a community, and like even like for us, I guess it's community management, and to be honest, is it her all the time? Who knows? But like, she'll comment on TikToks. Like, if you've seen the video where she like runs back, she basically, the stage didn't work, so she runs, her like door didn't open, so she like proper bolts to the other
like
door.
Main exit.
And someone like posted it on TikTok, and she's commented on it like Swift as fuck boys or something. She just does so well to build like a really engaged community. She knows she's really, really millennial, but she plays on it, and like everyone's like, oh, that's cute. Like she's just managed to build this community. She like actually replies to people. She's just kind of like, I say that as I think it's maybe her on TikTok. I don't know.
I think it will be.
But yeah, so like I think she's just done really well to create like a really, like, to be honest, it's like a really, really strong brand.
I do feel
it's self-sufficient. She doesn't even need to be engaging with it.
Well, that's the thing.
Anymore.
Like, it's completely like its own ecosystem now that just like
got to, like,
that works without her.
Perfect point of like advocacy where like she could completely step away from it, and she'd still have like her mentions would still be like through the roof.
100%. Yeah.
She doesn't need to even be there anymore. So like she's kind of got to the point that we always say to like brands, we want to get to the point where like people are advocating for you.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to be the one always shouting about yourself because there's other people doing it. She's achieved that.
I think so. I think that's like, there's like one of two things is that part of it where it's like she's created the ecosystem, but also you don't need to be the youngest, most trendy person. People of all ages and all like interests can be influencers, can be figureheads, and by like Taylor Swift being aware of the fact she's a millennial, and instead of trying to like, I don't know, like dressing up your cyberpunk outfit like Billie Eilish or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know what that is, but
like, you know, like all the kind of like chains in the big boots. She's not like just tragically trying to follow every trend that comes out. Like, she's doing her own thing, but still kind of aware of herself. And I think that's like the biggest lesson to be learned. I did pick up on when you were saying about you're not sure if it all is calculated or like it's all meant to do that kind of thing. But there was something like the Ice Spice thing, and I don't want to get too much into the Matty Healy stuff because that's probably a bit it's its own thing. but like that was something that
Conveniently timed.
very convenient and stuff like that. And there's maybe a kind of like a darker side to it and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and maybe some that's a little less wholesome. Like it feels very like I'm getting ahead of the narrative and stuff like that, and it like on this kind of thing.
I think when you get to that level of fame, you kind of there has to be a level of strategicness and planning to it, because like one, she wouldn't be at that level of fame if she hadn't been. She says she's a mastermind.
Yeah.
It's all planned.
She has a song about it, Josh.
I think Josh, well, I thought Josh got that, maybe not.
I didn't get that.
But yeah. I do think there is a level of that, but I think it still like comes from a place, I mean, maybe I'm just saying this as a massive Taylor Swift fan, but it comes from like a genuine place of like, she is very much a people pleaser and she wants people to enjoy what she does. So I think there's an element of that, but also like, obviously, of course, she's got a massive team behind her. So there is always going to be like more of a brand-led approach to it.
Well, thank you for that wonderful insight into the world of Taylor Swift and influencer culture. Sounds
I
sarcastic,
hope your phone's
but
been
it's not.
listening and now your For You page is entirely Swift talk.
Oh, it's going to be, yeah.
I do too.
I'm going to say Swift Talk 20 times.
Perfect.
And hope she appears in the mirror behind me.
Swift talk. That is like literally Lucy's dream. You're here. Oh my god.
Okay, so now that we've done that, it's time to get to the part of the show that we're calling a tweet by a celebrity, and you have to guess it.
Who tweeted this tweet?
Which celebrity tweeted this tweet?
I'm not a Twitter girly. This is going to be
That's okay, you
hard.
don't need to be.
Right, so Josh is going to read you 3 tweets and then the names of 3 celebrities, and we need to match them up. I don't know them either, so I'm here to be your ally, supporter.
Always.
Team
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Tweet 1.
Yep.
Thanks, guys. I had no idea a pickle was really a cucumber. You guys totally confirmed it. The U is spelled just a big capital U.
a pickle.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until quite recently, so it was just that from me.
It's Hannah Houston.
Yeah, I just think it's amazing that a cucumber can turn into a pickle.
I didn't know that it was the same thing. And like, what's a gherkin then? Also pickle cucumber.
Also
Okay.
pickle cucumber. Thanks for
No need for the extra name, but
Okay,
we know.
right, so that's the first one.
So that's the first one. Number 2, and these are all food themed ones. I didn't mean this, but then at the end
We
up being
love food themed things.
Number 2 is meatball and fruit.
Okay.
Is meatball and fruit.
And fruit.
And fruit.
And then
Great.
number 3, it's jut my onion, okay? You.
Jot my... Okay.
Okay.
And the celebrities are?
The celebrities are number 1, Post Malone. Number 2, Liam Payne.
Oh,
Number 3, Kim Kardashian.
okay.
Okay, I feel like Kim Kardashian is the first one because I
Think-
feel like I've heard something about this before.
Yeah,
Right,
that's
okay.
like
Like
on brand
shameless or
for her.
something.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So then there was one about an onion and one about a...
I've shown the answers. To the
Oh no, that means it's wrong.
What was the one about an onion?
It's
It's
it's jut my onion. You.
And then there was one about a meatball.
Yeah, it's meatball and fruit.
And the other options are Liam Payne.
Post Malone, Liam Payne. Yeah, Posty and Payne.
I want to say Liam Meatball.
I thought that too because I don't see him saying what was the other one.
It's jut my onion.
I feel
Yeah,
on
that I
brand
think
for
that'll
Liam
be...
Payne.
Doesn't
That
feel
feels more
doesn't feel on
Post
brand
And
for Liam
then
Payne.
it's meatball.
Well, maybe it does
It's,
because Liam Payne is a bit.
it's meatball and fruit though.
Yeah, that was Liam Payne.
And
I
fruit.
think there's a possibility of both.
You think? Well, it can't be.
Right.
That's not how the
answer
game works.
is-
I'm afraid.
It's not, it's not really that kind of quiz.
Right, I think I'd go with. I'm gonna get them all wrong, aren't I? But
It's you both. You don't need to.
Right, I'm
shoulder
going
blame
Kim K,
exclusively.
Liam Payne, Post Malone,
what was the second one again?
meatball,
Meatball.
and fruit.
So pickle,
Yeah, I agree.
meatball,
Yeah.
onion.
Post Malone is the onion.
Okay.
Post Malone's the
Probably
onion
not
one.
right, but we're
Yeah.
going with that.
Okay, so you were absolutely right with the Kim Kardashian one.
Oh,
that was
good.
I
indeed.
thought I'd heard that.
Well
Pickle
done.
is a cucumber.
Yep.
Unfortunately, guys,
The other two are wrong.
that's two are wrong. The onion in question was Liam Payne's.
Wow.
What was the
And-
context?
No one knows.
Right.
I didn't research it.
Right.
Oh, right,
But-
okay.
So someone knows, but you just didn't.
No,
do
it's,
research.
I didn't know if it was like he was talking about it's just my onion or if he was meant to write opinion.
Oh right.
Oh!
I thought it might be that.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
Okay.
That makes more sense.
1 out of 3.
That was
you happy with
insightful.
that,
I
Lucy?
learned a lot. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. We learned a lot as well. Did you feel like we learned a lot from you?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I already know everything there is to know about Taylor Swift as well, but I think you've learned a lot, and that's what matters.
Yeah.
We've
just don't try and get tickets, then we're okay.
Oh
yeah. No,
we have
I
created a
wouldn't
new
deprive
Swiftie.
a real Taylor Swift fan of tickets. I wouldn't do that.
Thanks for
It's not in my nature. But anyway, that's us for Social Media Social Club for another week. Lucy, before we go, do you have anything to plug?
I don't know. Absolutely nothing.
You have nothing to plug.
Apart from people not buying Taylor Swift.
So
it's an anti-plug.
We've got our first anti-plug.
Do not go
But
to
it's okay
Edith's tour.
because you might not be able to. You might be sold out by this point.
It might be.
Anyway,
thanks very much, guys. Thanks,
you.
Lucy. Thanks, Hannah.
Lucy. Thanks,
Bye.
Josh.
Bye.
Wave.
Come on, wave. The credits will go up, so you need to wave at this point.
fine.
No,
Just
wave. Wave to the camera.
for the camera.
I can't.
You can't do that.
You can do it.
Wave to the camera.
Taylor Swift with wave.
Right, 3, 2, 1.
That counts.
Wait, hang on.